Hi, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing, instead of a shop my stash, I do apologize for those of you who enjoy watching my shop my stash videos. I have noticed that I'm starting to get more views. So I'm guessing those are probably the original subscribers I had, which thank you so much if you are still sticking around. I do greatly appreciate it. But had some stuff go on, which I'm trying not to think about because it is flaring up my depression. And I didn't feel like wearing makeup, so I didn't feel like I should update my makeup drawer since I didn't use the products that I had picked out then. I'm feeling much better, by the way. But instead of a shop my stash for Sunday, we are going to be doing my wish list. Plant wish list. So it is another plenty video, and I do apologize for makeup people out there, but for all of my new plenty friends, I did see a video. I've seen a few, so I think Green and Sheen made one, and I love watching her videos. And then Wild Fern kind of did an updated wish list video as well. And although I didn't intend on originally making a video like this, I did actually post a TikTok, which I'll insert for you guys to see. And so I'm doing that list and then a few add-ons that I guess I basically decided to add to my wish list in the beginning of the year. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the listing from the TikTok and then the add-ons. So number one that I had listed was a philodendron squamiferum, which I did not get. And I don't know, I don't think I've had the opportunity to pick up that plant, and I still think it's really pretty. I really, really love the fuzzy petiole, like the stem of the plant. I think that's the reason I do like it. I hesitate though because I do have bigger plants, like my pink princess that you can see in the background there. And I don't have a whole lot of room. And I know that plant could get pretty big. So I'm kind of like, where would I put it? That's the only reason I'm hesitating on picking it up. So I don't know. I do want it, but I don't at the same time because I have no idea what I would do with it. The second one that I listed was a Syngonium confetti. That plant, I know I came across a couple of times throughout the year where I could have had it or could have added it to my collection, but I didn't. So I'm not, it's basically off my wish list now. I still think it's a really pretty plant, and I do like Syngonium, but I'm kind of struggling with the Syngoniums that I do have, with the exception of my Albo Syngonium. That's the only one that's really thriving for me. So I kind of figured maybe it's a genus that I don't really do well with. So I don't want to add it. Sorry, I just thought of something else. Then really quick too, because I can see the reflection of my ring light. Sorry for the lighting. I do have to use artificial lighting because it is a very cloudy and rainy day. And then just with all the grow lights that I do have going on, it would make me appear really dark. So I do apologize, but this is what we're working with. So the next one was the monkey tail cactus, which I did pick up, and I have it right here. This is my monkey tail cactus. Oh, there's definitely a spider living in it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's spider webs again. So there is a spider in there. I showed this in one of my... Sorry, it's freaking me out. I showed it in one of my vlog videos, I guess, or plant chart videos, whatever you want to call it. And I indicated that this part of the hook was covered in spider webs. So I was like, there's a spider, and I had my little headlamp on. I even brushed off all the spider webs. And there's more spider webs now, so there's definitely a spider living in here. But this is, it's pretty heavy because as I watered it, and I don't water this plant too often, and I know some people are probably like, don't water this during the winter, but it's actually pretty warm in my house, and it's right next to a, sorry, it's right next to the heater. Is that the spider?
I think it is, but I think that's dead. Or it's playing dead. Or it's a dead bug. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so distracted.
This is very heavy. So, yeah, my monkey tail cactus. So I had been wanting one for a really long time, actually, since I first started getting into plants. This was one of the cactuses that I seen, and they have really pretty blooms, and they just get really fuzzy, as you can see on the tip there. It gets pretty fuzzy, so imagine that like all throughout the cactus. And once it gets a lot bigger and thicker, it will, I think, hopefully do that. It's a really pretty cactus. I absolutely love it. They're pretty pricey and hard to come by. I did buy mines on an Etsy shop, and I don't remember how much I paid for it. I want to say it was somewhere between $30 to $40, which I think it's fairly good, for the size that I seen this. So I did see this at a local plant shop here. I think it's called Crinklewood. It's a really, really cute plant shop. And they wanted like 150 for it. I don't remember. I know it's on one of my TikToks too. So if I'm not lazy, I'll go and I'll check that out, and I'll leave it for you guys to see on the screen what the price was for it. But I wasn't gonna pay that much for a plant, and I think it was about this size, to be quite honest. I'm not sure. Again, if I have the clip, I'll put it in for you guys to see. But I still really wanted one. I was just kind of waiting to see when I would find one that I could be willing to afford, I guess, or be willing to pay. Is the word. I did snap. I don't know if you guys can see. Where are you? Where are you? This way. So this stem right here, I actually did snap that off, and it grew in a new one. And then the little piece that I snapped is right in there. I don't know if you can see in the pot there. And that's, come on camera, focus, focus. There we go. Yeah, so that piece right there. So that's the part that snapped off when I was bringing it down once over the summer to water, and it's growing. So that means it rooted and it's growing. So I can't wait to see this trail even more. I think it's a fairly decent size, for what I paid. I'm just really excited to have it, and I'm hoping that it'll bloom for me again, because it did have 2 blooms when I purchased it, so that means it did bloom when it was at the sellers. The next plant that I had on my list was an alocasia, or a variegated alocasia odora, I want to say it's pronounced. I'm really bad with pronunciation, so please forgive me. My dyslexia, kind of interferes with that. But that plant is so pretty. It's just that I'm not willing to pay the price tag that I keep seeing it asked for. For when it's an alocasia, so a lot of the times I'm either really good at taking care of them, or I'm really bad and they die on me. So I didn't want to pay that amount of money for it. And I do really, really like it, but it's also a plant that I want to get very small, because I know they can't grow to be really big. So I don't want to pay that much money for a smaller version of the plant, if that makes sense. So I'm just patiently waiting for that price tag to come down, which is what I should have done with one of the other ones on my list, but ni modos, pagué lo que pagué, and it just is what it is. Okay, so the next one is my Anthurium forgetti, and I have that one right here, which normally lives in my cabinet here, but I did take it out for the purposes of this video. This is my Anthurium forgetti. This is the newest leaf that put out. I don't know what happened to the leaf there. Looks kind of like it's molding through. I don't know, or maybe it's just damaged, but... And then this was the last one that it put in. Unless it's just damage from me underwatering this plant, because I have been a chronic underwaterer this year. But I did purchase two of these plants. So in the beginning of the year, I actually ended up getting an Anthurium Forgetti White Stripes from Equigenera, or Equigenera. But I know like Equigenera, they have the most of their plants are imports, and I think I got it in like January or February of this year, earlier this year, and it started rotting. So I had if I remember correctly, a thrips outbreak kind of in my office here, and I used to have it here. But when I got the thrips, I started treating the two plants that I knew for sure had thrips, and then any plant surrounding, which happened to be the Anthurium, forgetting. And when I put it in the enclosure, it started to rot from the stem. If I do have anything, because I know I did post a lot about it on my Instagram stories, and sometimes I save those. So if I have it, I'll leave it for you guys to see. But it didn't make it. And I didn't think that it was going to. And so I seen that Bros with Hose, which I actually shop from them a lot. I've done two unboxings for you guys on here already from them. And I may have purchased more. These were more of like depressional shops. Really bad, I know. But they, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, I seen that they were selling the Forgetti, and I want to say they were starter seedlings, and they were really decent for the size. So I think this one was the newest leaf that came out when I first purchased it, and it had two other smaller leaves. If I do have a picture of when I first got it, I'll show it to you guys. And then this leaf was the one that was unfurling when it came in. And so these two here are, this leaf and this leaf are on my growth. Like they have grown from my care. Sorry, I like peeling the little, what is this called? The little leafy dried up parts. I like peeling those off. Alright, so I'm just throwing it on my floor. Sorry, life of a plant person. I'll pick that up later. But we do have another new growth coming in there. If you guys can see that right there, that's new growth. And it has put out a bloom, which I chopped off because I don't really like their blooms and I'm not interested in doing the seedlings. So I did get this one off of my wish list. The next one I had on my list was the Philodendron varicosum, which I did actually get. I do have a bigger one, but I don't want to move it because it's right next to the Pink Princess and it's on a moss pole. But this is from that plant. So this is the base actually from that plant, which I purchased off of my friend Melissa. She goes through these phases where she buys a lot of plants and then kind of tries to resell them, I think, when maybe either she's overwhelmed or just maybe isn't feeling the plant anymore. I don't know, but since it was on my wish list and I did see that she was selling it on a local Facebook group that we are both a part of, I told her, hey, if you still have the varicosum, I'll buy it off you. Whatever you were going to sell it for, I'll buy it. Of course, because she's my friend, she did reduce the price for me. I was willing to pay her whatever she was originally asking for, because obviously she was selling her plants for a reason, and friend support. Right? I would never expect anything for free. So I did purchase it off of her. It did struggle, and I want to say the reason it struggled, was that this year? Maybe I'm confusing it. She was generous enough to actually give me a cutting of the varicosum ones, but it died on me when my AC went out, I think the summer prior. And then I had purchased this one off of her. So this one I think struggled just from my lack of care. I'm pretty sure. So I did almost lose it. I think from underwatering or maybe overwatering. I can't honestly remember. So I propagated it. I cut it. I put it, I don't remember if I put it in water, if I put it back in soil, but it did well. And then I started neglecting my plants again. And this piece actually rotted all the roots from dry rot. It just rotted. So the other piece is still doing good. I actually need to water my plants today, so I will be doing that later. I won't be filming because I just have too much to do, to be honest. So the other piece is doing well, but I did put this one in water in hopes to try to save it. And as you can see, it is rooting. I noticed that even though I was watering the plant, this part of it was just not bouncing back. So I did cut it in half. So I had two pieces on each side. So the moss bowl and then, you know, the one plant and then the other plant. And this one, when I went to check on it, just came right out. I was like, oh, well, that's nice. So I went ahead and put it back in the water. Have you rooted? Wow, this piece has no roots. Okay. How are you alive? Wow. All right. Well, that's surprised. I don't know how this one's alive, but it has a new growth point there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Kind of starting to come out there at the bottom, but it doesn't have roots. The roots are from this piece, actually, this top piece. It's not growing roots from the bottom. That's actually rotting right here, so I'm gonna have to chop that. Wow, okay. Well, I don't know how this place is alive, but it is, so we're just gonna stick you back in there and then I'll deal with that piece that's rotting in the bottom. But anyways, I'm just trying to save it. If it dies, it dies. I still have the other one. I just have to make sure that I actually water it. These really don't like to go without water for very long. Yeah, but I was able to obtain one. I got it from my friend. So there's that. Okay, so the next one on my list, I probably should have waited to get it because the price reduced so quickly within the year, is my alocasia, or my variegated alocasia fried, which is this one right here. This one brings me so much joy. It's so pretty. Can we just take a moment to admire each of the leaves? This is the newest leaf that it put out for me, I think. Yeah, this one right here. And then as you can see, it's not a 3-leaf wonder. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leaves. Wow. I didn't even know it was doing that good. Okay. This plant obviously brings me so much joy. The leaves are just absolutely stunning. I mean, how can you not love that variegation? She is beautiful. And then the reason I said I probably should have waited, because this was like way up in the hundreds. And then when I purchased it, I thought it had already come down in price, and it did. It had already come down in price quite significantly. Sorry. I thought it was a steal, so I purchased it, and I got this from the Rare Plant Fairy, which I still have their tag here with the name on it. And when I first got it, it was really, really small. I know I have pictures, so I'll insert it. I think I've already shown it on here, but I'll show it because we need to see the difference between when I got it, which I'll hopefully, you know, editing me will put it here, and then, you know, what it looks like now. So I don't know if it was because it didn't have a good root system, or if it was due to my lack of watering. Probably a combination of all of it, or if it was, you know, transportation shock. But it started dying on me, and the amount of money I paid for it, I was really not going to let this plant die. So I did look at the roots. I saved the moss that it came in, and I put it back into water for it to grow more roots, because it had a very small root system. And again, I don't know if that's how it was sent to me, or if some of the roots died in transport or due to my lack of watering of. So once I noticed that it had more established roots, I did put it back into moss, which is how it came to me. So if we look, I have it in a little clear container inside, you know, this here. But if we look at it, focus camera, focus, focus. Okay, there we go. Okay, so if we look at it, it has a decent amount of roots now. Turn her around so you guys can see this side. before, when I got this plant, you couldn't see the root system at all. You just saw the moss. So that's what I figured. It was probably the root system, since it was so small. And then when I seen that it had enough, once after I put it in water, I just put it back in this into moss, which was the original moss that I came in from the Rare Plant Fairy, and I haven't changed it out of here since. I want to see more roots before I pot this into soil, because once alocasias have more of, at least in my experience, once alocasias have more of an established root system, they're a little bit more hardy. And then since I am kind of an underwaterer, I figured the moss would be better for it to continue to grow and, you know, just be kind of a girthy plant. I don't know if you guys can tell, just noticing right here, there's a new growth. Can you see the little dark part there on the stem from the new one? There's a new growth that's going to come out. So it just keeps putting out leaves. And it's not doing that thing anymore where, you know, it kills off an old one to put out a new one. This one, I think, either one of these two. I don't know if it's this one. I think it's this one because it's smaller. It still looks good. So it's not on its way out anytime soon. Again, they are more affordable now. I know that Bros with Hose actually did put some out for under $100. I don't remember how much, but let me take a look. Okay, so Bros with Hose actually had this plant as a pre-order for $59.99. And if you guys don't believe me, here it is. So that's the plant, and I don't know if you guys can see the price here on the bottom. My apps, sorry. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see the price there at the bottom of the screen, but it was available for $59.99, and that is a lot less than what I paid for this plant. If my sister-in-law is watching, because sometimes she supports, she's probably gonna go tell my brother-in-law, can you believe how much money Nancy spends on plants? Girl, I can believe it. But anyways, yeah, I probably should have waited. And then I'm pretty sure the price in these are going to continue to go down and be more affordable eventually because they are becoming so accessible now. But oh my God, it is so beautiful. Like no regrets. No regrets with this. Oh my gosh. Can you just picture like multiple? And then also too, really quick, because I know this is going to be kind of long already. I noticed when I had put this out into rerouted in water, it had a corm. And I never took it out. I left it in there. Now, I haven't seen anything with it yet. So who knows? I may be getting another plant. I just watered it, so it's leaking. I'm trying to see. I don't know. I can't tell. I mean, if a new plant does start to grow out of here, I'm going to be super excited. And hopefully it's just as beautifully as variegated as the mama plant. Because, oh my God, this is gorgeous. Okay, these next plants were not in the TikTok that I made for my wish list plants of 2023. They were actually add-ons after I did that post. So what I have listed here is a bear paw succulent, and I did cross it off because I did indeed get a bear paw succulent. So this one though is a variegated bear paw succulent, and it's a very sad bear paw succulent. When I got it, it was very full, but I did underwater it. I think I overwatered it and then I underwatered it. Why is the stem looking like that? Sorry, it's just I'm noticing the stem looks brown. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way. Are you dying? It feels really hard, so I don't know, but that's what it looks like, and I think this plant is super, super cute. Focus camera. What's the point of autofocus if it's not going to do it? There we go. I think it's focusing now. But I think the just the little succulent fat leaves are really cute, and then with the variegation on it, I think it's even cuter. I do really like this plant. I'm just having a little trouble figuring it out. It's either like I water it too often or I don't water it enough, and I can't find that middle ground. But I haven't killed it, so we're still working on it. I think my husband's home. Okay, the next one on my list, I have it down as a white variegated snake plant. That's because I didn't know the name of it at the time and I couldn't find it anywhere. But I did end up getting one, which is this one right here. And according to my app, it's a Sansevieria Bantel's Sensation. And she's gotten pretty tall since I've purchased this plant. I got this on an Etsy shop, and not gonna lie, I was kind of disappointed when I got it. You can see the plant came pretty damaged when I first got it, but I have since then gotten a whole lot of new growth. So all this is new, and it's really tall, so it's happy in my care. So you could tell all the broken off points are all the old plant, I guess, like when I purchased it. So all this broke off, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but if this tip part breaks off, it won't grow any taller. It'll stop where it's at. And I just found that out like not that long ago. I don't remember from where, so don't quote me, but it makes sense because I never see these get any taller. But I have a whole bunch of new growth. There's new pups in there, so it's getting pretty full, and I have it in this really pretty pot. But yeah, but I really, really love this plant. I think it's so pretty. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I did see it in a local nursery, and the minute I saw this plant, I fell in love with it. But the one I saw in the nursery was really huge, and I'm pretty sure it's the same nursery at Crinklewood. They have I love going there because it's just, I don't know, it's like a plant paradise, for a lack of a better description. But they have all kinds of fountains, all kinds of plants and pots, and it's just really pretty just to get a coffee and walk through it. I used to take my kids there often. But yeah, I love this plant, and it was fairly affordable. Probably won't purchase from the seller again just because of the shipping. And then the plant was also rubber band together at the base of it in the dirt, and all the dirt came loose, so you could tell like it was a newly potted plant. So my battery died, and I don't know where I got cut off, but I was just saying that it was a risky purchase, but I am still happy with the purchase nonetheless. I still got the plant that I wanted for a more affordable price than what I was able to find it in my local area in nursery stores. And then I didn't really see this being available at any plant stores like Bros with Hose, to that Plant Co. I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyways, I did manage to get it, and I'm very, very happy, and it's growing, and where I currently have it, it's outgrowing its area. I have it underneath one of an entry or accent table, whatever you want to call it, that I have in my living room, and the tips are already kind of touching the bottom of the table, so I'm going to have to move it to the floor, but I don't want to put it directly on the floor because we have tile flooring, and it is winter, so it's not going to do very well on the floor. But yeah, probably buy like a little stand for it, hopefully, that I could put it on top of, and then just have it there more on the floor so it can just continue to grow. Can you imagine having a giant one of these? I don't know, just look at it. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. So the last one that I had added on my list, I also purchased but don't have anymore. This was a strawberry begonia, and I'll insert pictures because I did have it. I did mention that I was struggling with that plant due to underwatering it. So when it came in a 4-inch pot. But the root system on it was very, very small. Like they were really shallow. So I think that was one factor. And then two, I repotted it. But when I repotted it, instead of using the soil it came in, I used Della tanks because I was putting it in a small cement. I think it's a cement-based pot that I had purchased. I don't currently have a plant in it anymore since the begonia died. And technically, it's not even a begonia, and I'm not sure what it's had it what it's called or how to pronounce it, so I'll leave it on the screen for you guys to see. But yeah, I just kept underwatering the plant and it ended up dying, which makes me really sad because I actually really, really, really like that plant. Sorry, I didn't adjust the camera. But yeah, so that plant ended up dying. Again, I'll leave pictures so you guys can see it along with the name, because I don't know what its actual name is. I just know that it's known as a strawberry begonia, but it's really pretty. And it does the same thing that spider plants do, where they put off babies, you know, like they throw off shoots with little bundles of babies attached to it. But yeah, that was my wish list for 2023 and the plans that I was able to obtain from 2023's wish list. And let me see. Probably should have done this earlier. I was able to obtain 7 out of 9 plants that I had. So that's actually pretty good, especially given that I had a couple on there that were fairly high priced, to be quite honest. Yeah, but now for the lists, my wish list of 2024. So it's a fairly small list, mainly because I feel like I'm kind of done shopping with plants as the person who has an order on her way. But yeah, I'm pretty much done kind of shopping for plants. I'm at a point where I feel like I'm kind of satisfied with my collection, and if anything, I could probably do with less. The only thing is that I have trouble letting go of plants. But there does come times where I'm like really cutthroat with plants, and I'm just like, get out of here, to where I kind of unalive them. I do try to sell them, but then if they don't go, then I unalive them. And I'm not a big fan of selling, so. Anyways, so top numero uno on my list is a strawberry begonia, because I really, 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 really loved that plant, and I do want another one in my collection. I think it's really pretty. If anything, though, I think I'll probably wait to see, like, purchase it in person so I can kind of more or less see how it's doing. I definitely want to get one that's a little bit more established in the roots, even if it doesn't have that much foliage, because from what I've seen from other people is that they grow fairly quickly. I'm still going to keep, and I have that as my number 2, but I don't know when I'll get this plant, is the variegated alocasia odora. I love this plant. I think it's so pretty, and I would absolutely love to have a miniature version of it, so I definitely want to get a baby one, but I'm not willing to pay that high price tag for that one. I definitely want to wait. I don't know, I just get this feeling like it's not going to do well in my care. And I had that same feeling with the fried egg as well, but I was more willing to actually purchase that plant than purchasing the alocasia odora, just because I think I am also hesitant on, if I do well and if it gets really big, what am I going to do with it then? Type of thing, because it gets pretty hot here where I live. I'm in California, but here in particular, it gets pretty hot. We get triple digits. And it's not like that throughout all of California, but we get triple digits, like to where we travel to other cities and they know people from my city go to the other cities to get away from the heat. Yeah, because it's hot. So I wouldn't be able to put it outside, I don't think. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe in a shaded spot, but our tree went down the beginning of last year, so we don't really have shade in our backyard. I could put it in the front yard. But what if people steal it? I don't know, just me thinking, yeah. But anyways, the next one on my list is an alocasia, and I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce this correctly, heterophylla, or also known as a dragon breath. Again, I don't know if I pronounced this correctly, so I'll have it on the screen for you guys to see. But oh my god, this plant is so pretty, and I've gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, whether or not I should purchase this plant. And I did see that Rose with Hose did have it at one point, but I didn't get it. My friend Melissa did pick it up though. And the reason I didn't get it was because I was trying to get plants that would do better with neglect. I didn't want to get plants that needed a lot of attention, like frequent watering. As I mentioned, it does get hot here, and I'm kind of a chronic underwaterer. I'm nowhere in between, so I'm either an overwaterer or I'm a chronic underwaterer. But I can't always find like that middle ground, so I need plants that are going to be able to survive it. But I was talking to myself. I was thinking to myself, I was like, you have anthuriums that get underwatered like all the time. Like I have that one, the crystallinum, and my clarinervium, and they're doing fine. My begonias aren't, but they're doing fine. So I was like, you never know. I mean, you have a couple of alocasias that are doing fine too in your care. So why not just get it? Why not just try it? At least we tried. So I do have that one on my wish list. Another one that I really want to get, and it's because it's more of like an influence thing, I guess. So I won't purchase it right away if I find one, but if I find one for a decent price, I may get it. Is a variegated Christmas cactus. So I do have a beautiful green regular cactus, which is getting ready to bloom for me. So I'm super excited to show you guys. I'll probably do another updates video and just go around and show you like what's going on with my plants. But really pretty. I love my holiday cactus, Christmas cactus. But Wild Fern has a variegated version of this plant, and I think it's so pretty. And I don't know, when I first saw it, I didn't think too much of it, but the more I see it on her channel, the more that I want one myself, especially seeing that I have the green one. I just kind of see like putting them next to each other and having that beautiful contrast of the variegated, multicolored one and then just the solid green one with their flowers blooming. That's, I think, what it's selling me on. So far, I haven't seen how much they're going for. I haven't seen them anywhere, but I also haven't looked. So that's one I may be looking into for this coming year. This next one on my list, I actually already have one of, and you can see it here on the side of the screen. This is the Maranta, is it Leucorana? Crociana? I don't know how to pronounce it. Or also known as the Beauty Kim based off of Google. Every time I look it up, that's what it says, Beauty Kim. So mine was really big and pretty, and it did have some parts of it that's just the regular Maranta, and then the rest of it was all variegated. But I underwatered it, and a lot of the variegated leaves did die off, and the ones that I do have left are very crispy. So I have more so now of just the plain plant, which is really pretty. And that one's growing really well. But I noticed that the variegated parts aren't really putting out new leaves. And I don't know if maybe they're having a harder time of bouncing back from being underwatered. I kind of went a little too far from underwatering with like significant portions of the plant did die. So I want another one. To have a full pot of just the variegated. I'm like, if that one's going to be a regular one, that's fine. I'm like, it's pretty. I'll take it. But I still want a variegated one. It's really pretty. And it was one of my favorite plants when it was thriving. So I do want to get a new one. And the last one that I have on my list is a plant that I've already had, but also killed, and I want to try again. And that's the watermelon peperomia. Oh, that plant is just so pretty. It's such a stunner. And I did really good with it for a long time, but I want to say I lost this plant that summer that my AC went out. And as I mentioned, it gets pretty hot in here. So during that time, I think it was within a 2 to 3 week time frame, I don't remember, that we didn't have AC. It was like 90 something degrees inside our house. Like, not even kidding. And that's without us even cooking, because I told my husband, like, well, we're not going to be cooking. I'm not going to be adding more heat into this house. And I had turned off all my grow lights because I didn't want any more heat. So they were just surviving with the light coming in from the windows. Sorry, I'm hungry. And so I ended up losing it along with I actually think I lost all of my peperonias that summer because I didn't water them in time, or didn't water them enough. Like, they needed more water than usual because it was so hot in here, and I didn't do that. So that's basically it. I don't know if I'm going to actively shop for plants next year. I'm kind of going to see, because we are trying to pay off some of our debt that we have, which we had a kind of bad health year with me, the kids, our dog. It's just a really bad health year. So we have credit cards that we use for, to pay for big bills. And my insurance covers a lot, but, we don't have insurance for the dog. And that was the one that was most expensive. I don't know how many times we took him to the vet this year, to be honest. More than I can count. And I pray to God that we don't have to do this next year. But anyways, that is basically it. I hope that this video is not too long and that it's not boring. I enjoyed watching these type of videos, so hopefully you guys did too. Anyways, if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me some comments down below on what plants you ended up purchasing this year for 2023 and what maybe you're hoping to get your hands on for the following year of 2024, because I would really love to know what everybody's preference are. I think it's fun. Just talking about plants and sharing. And if you guys have an Instagram handle where you share all your planty stuff, leave it in the comments down below, because I'll go and follow. I love seeing other people's collections as well and see what kind of, jives their mood. But anyways, that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching. My dog. Well, anyways, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. Please give this video a thumbs up. Leave me some comments down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I would appreciate that even more. But anyways, until next time. Bye.